Good evening. Welcome to part 4, or is it 3? No, part 4 of the readings of the Ashtavakra Gita. I wasn't going to do a video tonight, but I've just completed some distant healing work with a client, and so kind of coming down from that a little bit, so I thought I would do a reading this evening. I'm going to actually couple two teachings tonight, because the next 2 teachings from the Ashtavakra Gita are quite short, so I was going to kind of put 2 together. It's been quite a strange day today. Different emotions, different thoughts. Certain clients very fearful today. I'm on the phone to a few people and just kind of at some level tuning in, I guess, both from my perspective, but helping them tune in a little bit into what's causing their turmoil, what's causing their anxiety, what's causing their fear, trying to bring some humor and some light and lightness to what is a really difficult situation, because at some level there's a lot of future projection going on at the moment, and particularly around, I guess, people who have worked for themselves, me being one of them, self-employed people who have spent a long time and a great deal of energy and effort building businesses, building clientele, building some kind of root chakra security and life security around their work and their efforts, which I guess at some level are out of the kind of the more mainstream workplace. And an event like this does kind of knock you sideways a little bit, because obviously you don't know. The uncertainty of where we're going to emerge from after this isn't always there, and the ego loves to want to know everything. It wants to be able to plan ahead and have all its ducks in a row, just to make sure everything's safe and dandy and and planned. In my old life, I used to work as a project manager, and so I was very very rigid in my organizational skills, and so I could keep track of everything, and everything was kind of following timetables and whatnot. And now, I mean, flipping heck. I mean, what the fuck's going on, It's crazy. And there's a lot of information out there coming from different sources, I mean, I've been posting some stuff today, some humorous, some a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but some quite serious stuff, really, about, are we really being told the truth? Are we being sold a bit of a lie? Can we trust authority? Can we trust the systems and the, I guess at some level, well, you could call them authority figures in our life, but I guess the people, the experts, let's call them the experts. Okay, there's lots of experts out there, aren't there? Experts in all sorts of crazy stuff. I've got a degree in chemical engineering. Never really enjoyed engineering that much, but I ended up doing a degree in it, and kind of became a bit of a slave to the golden handcuffs of a very fat salary and good bonuses, solid career, pension, all that kind of stuff. And I kind of felt myself getting trapped, imprisoned in this kind of very secure, fearful, I guess, existence, which, if anything rattled the cage, it was really, really quite shocking to the system. And you always then look to the experts to kind of give you reassurance and comfort and a little bit of I guess at some level information as to what to expect from challenging or chaotic situations, be it whatever examples used to come up for me when I was at work, and whether it was a problem with the business, whether it was a bankruptcy they were going through, all these kinds of things that were affecting at some level the security of your life, the security of your paradigm, the security of just this kind of linear approach that we've been taking, that I certainly had taken for a lot of my life, where everything had to be planned and seen ahead. And then when you're faced with a situation where you can't really see beyond the end of your feathers or beyond the end of your nose, it's kind of a little bit unsettling to the system. But that's a really good test for the soul. It's a really good initiation to really engross yourself in and feel into that kind of stickiness of uncertainty, that kind of those worries, the niggles, the anxieties, and really start to unpick where the fear really is and what the fear really is. That word fear again is coming up for a lot of people. I'm fearful of this, I'm fearful of that. Most of our fear comes from not knowing. Fear of death, yeah? I guess there's a bit of information out there about death. You could read lots of sacred texts like we're doing with the Ashtavakra Gita that say, don't worry about it. When you die, you carry on. Consciousness continues. There's lots of near-death experience stories out there. But, I've never, in this body at least, experienced death. At some point it will happen. That great step through, that great initiation. So that kind of fear of unknown can create an energy, can create, I suppose, an overthinking in the mind of potential scenarios, some potentially positive, some potentially not so positive. And all these scenarios don't really exist in the here and now. They don't really exist now. I mean, right now, I'm sitting on my couch talking to a fucking smartphone. And maybe some people who are listening to this video, it feels a little bit weird, but, it's all okay. Everything is actually right now fine and dandy. I'm feeling relaxed. It's late evening, gonna have a cup of tea, get an early night after this. It's all good. Hopefully I'll wake up tomorrow. Never guarantee that, but I'll wake up tomorrow, feed the kids breakfast, make them do their homework, and so the routine continues. Slightly different routine to what I've been used to. So yes, we're being challenged a lot, and most of these challenges can, or all of them, can easily be overcome as long as we maintain a level of mindful presence in our daily activities, a level of mindful presence in what's going on within our body, a level of observation with what's going on in our mind, and I guess a level of comprehension as to what's going on within our hearts. Are we triggered by certain people? Are we triggered by certain stuff that we see on Facebook? Yeah? Or Instagram or stuff like this? Are we triggered by our government's policies? Are we triggered by other governments' policies around the world? What are we getting triggered by? What is it creating within us? What stories are we potentially creating for ourselves? And we're all, at some level, Guilty of creating stories without objective facts. So I guess this is really a reminder to stay as grounded and objective and clear and present and to an extent peaceful as possible, no matter what energies are surrounding you, be they other people's energies, be they 5G, be they anything that at some level can create disturbance in your own field. Strong grounding, strong boundaries, comprehension, but most of all compassion for yourself first, compassion for all this chaotic craziness that we call a human experience. And yeah, just kind of like the Ashtavakra said in the first teaching, be happy. Just try and be happy. Go for walks. Go for lots of walks. I mean, I bet you've never walked so much in your life. I know I haven't. I'm doing about 4.5 miles a day at the moment, dragging my kids kicking and screaming with me. Daddy, don't want to go for a walk today. Yeah, you're coming, whether you like it or not. So, and then they generally enjoy it. I mean, we're fortunate enough to live quite close to some country lanes and open fields and whatever, so it's nice to be able to do that. For those of you that aren't so fortunate, who are stuck in, I guess, more populated areas, then please do your best to get out and do what you can do, because fresh air, sunlight, chi is the best thing to keep your immune system going, keep your physiology going, keep yourself moving. Don't get stuck in a rut. Yeah, don't get stuck in a rut. So yeah, so we've got 2 teachings to go through tonight. The first one is glorification of self-realization, and the second one is titled 4 Ways to Dissolution. So the first one, glorification of self-realization. And Janaka said, surely one who knows self, though he plays the game of life, differs greatly from the world's bewildered, burdened beasts. Truly the sage feels no elation, though he abides in the exalted state, yearned for by Indra and all the discontented gods. One who knows that is not touched by virtue or vice, just as space is not touched by smoke, though it appears to be. Who would prevent the great soul who knows the universe as self from living life as it comes? Of the 4 kinds of beings, from Brahma to a blade of grass, only the sage can renounce aversion and desire. Rare is he who knows himself as one with no other, the Lord of the universe. He acts as he knows and is never afraid. So some nice words there to contemplate. And the second teaching, or teaching number 5 of the Ashtavakra Gita, 4 Ways to Dissolution. And Ashtavakra said, you are immaculate, touched by nothing. What is there to renounce? The mind is complex. Let it go. Know the peace of dissolution. The universe arises from you, like foam from the sea. Know yourself as one. Enter the peace of dissolution. Like an imagined snake in a rope, the universe appears to exist in the immaculate self, but does not. Seeing this, you know there is nothing to dissolve. You are perfect, changeless, through misery and happiness, hope and despair, life and death. This is the state of dissolution. So, as we listen to these words, we don't always get what they mean sometimes, because we still have a very separate view of life. The mind likes to create this realm, if you want to call it that, this kingdom that we're all playing in. And it's great. It's great fun. It can be a joyous experience. It can also be a very torrid and tortuous experience. And that's where we, have to remind ourselves to be as mindful as possible, not only of our own thoughts, feelings, projections, activities and actions, but also mindful that others might be suffering quite significantly through this whole episode. So where you can reach out, please do. Don't be afraid. Where you can give a helping hand, please do, even if it is a phone call or even posting a little video or something that people can relate to, something that people can tangibly, even if you can't touch, you can listen, you can hear, all right? And always remember that this too shall pass. So if you're struggling right now, I honour your struggle, but it shall pass. See you next time.